Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games, back with another cool pinball repair video for you this evening. We have been working on this Bally Freedom pinball machine that came out in 1976 for the centennial. July of 76, actually. Very cool game. We're working on it. We've cleaned all kinds of stuff. So we've done video after video after video of this thing so far. If you haven't seen those, you might want to go back and check them out. But this is the video where we're actually going to figure out what in the world's wrong with it. So it has some issues. We're going to track them down and then track down the repairs or the fixes in the schematics if we run into anything. So I hope you enjoy that. Now, the very first thing that it's doing, on an earlier video, we were able to play it a little bit. It had some broken rubber rings, things like that. So we were able to play it a little bit on the earlier video, but now, after working on it, we can't play it anymore. It's messed up. So it's blowing a fuse. So we're actually in a game right now. See, that says ball and play 1. Flippers aren't working. Nothing is working, right? Because it's blown the fuse that makes all of the relays work, the 50-volt fuse. So we got to figure out why it's doing that. Whenever you put the fuse in, you start hearing something clicking in the back, and all the lights dim. Well, when all the lights dim, that's a surefire hint that the fuse is about to blow. You're shorting voltages together, or shorting something to ground, or something. So we've got to figure out why that is. Another thing that's interesting to me is I don't think all the lights should be on if the relays can't pull in, because there's a relay that holds the lights on. So we got to figure that out too. But I think what I'll do first is I'm going to put a fuse in, and just to show you what it's doing. I'm not going to let it blow the fuse though if I can help it, because I don't want to, that might burn something up, stress something. But I'll turn it back on, let you see what it seems to be doing. We'll listen for whatever sound we're hearing, and then see if we can track down why there is a short. So let me go grab a fuse, I'll replace it, and then we'll see exactly what it's doing before it blows the fuse. If you ever have a fuse blowing, you want to make sure you put the right size one back in. If you put the wrong size in, you have all kinds of problems. So this is a 10 amp fuse. Okay, so there's two main types of fuses you use in pinball machines. There'll be normal fuses and slow blow fuses. So it's a normal fuse if it just doesn't say anything. If it's supposed to be a slow blow, it will say SB or slow blow or something like that. So we're going to put a normal 10 amp fuse in it, because that's what it says on the schematics. It's also marked in the cabinet. Now, a lot of people think, oh, okay, well, it's a 10 amp. I can put a 15 amp in it because that's bigger. Nope, can't do that. It needs to be a 10. On fuses, it's pretty important that there's exactly what they're laid out to be. The voltage isn't as important, although you run into trouble with that sometimes too, but mainly the amperage, the amp. So if it's a 10 amp, you want to put a 10 amp in. If it's a 5 amp, you want to put a 5 amp in. Don't put a 4, don't put an 8, put what it says. If you need these old school glass fuses, you can still buy them at auto parts stores. A little expensive to get them that way, but you can do it. The problem with buying them like that is we're probably going to blow up 2 or 3 of these fuses before we figure out what's going on. So it's a little expensive. You can get these things with a little circuit breaker on it that trips without blowing the fuse. I think I might even have some of them in the back, but in general, just make sure you put the right one back in. Check if it's normal blow or slow blow, and make sure you got the amperage right. Maybe it'll blow it again. No, seems good. Okay, we're back to 0 on everything. Let's see what we got. Advance the bonus, which is going to be that down there. Oop. Did we blow our fuse again? I hit that and nothing happened. No, fuse isn't blown. So advanced bonus isn't working. For advanced. Something's definitely wrong with our bonus and our advance. So let's see what that button's supposed to do and why would it lock on. And then our advanced bonus isn't working. So let's see. I'm kind of skittish since it blew the fuse earlier. The reason fuses blow is because something locks on or something's shorted together or something. So whenever you get something just continuously running, a lot of times we'll work on stuff, and if something doesn't work right, I'll just write it down and then do it all at the end of the video. But something was blowing the fuse, so let's see if we can track it down as we go. So let's check out the advanced bonus and what the for advanced button is supposed to do. Okay, folks, so for the next few minutes of the video, you're going to see me make a big mistake. This is the wheel unit, and this is the bonus unit. And they're both clearly marked, but I don't look at the sticker, so I get them completely backwards, which screws me all up for the first few minutes of the video. And I'm going to leave all this in here just so you can see that it's really easy to make a mistake, and if you do, it's no big deal. And also, if the schematics don't make sense, it may just be because you're looking in the wrong area, or you've made some kind of mistake, or you haven't figured out what you thought you have or something. So I'm going to leave my several minute long blooper here as we work through what's going on with this thing. And hopefully that'll be interesting to you to see how you can go down one line of thought, and it'll make you miss the solution because it's down another line of thought. And you're so focused on, like I was so focused on that being the bonus unit, that I couldn't figure out what was going on because that's actually the wheel unit. Okay, and you'll see what I mean here in a minute. And then also you'll see that at one point I actually went home for the night. So I came back the next day and figured it out. So sometimes if you're running into a problem and you can't figure it out and everything's breaking, you can't, what the hell, just set it down for a little bit and come back to it. Hell, I've got games I've sat down for months and came back to them. And by that time you forget everything that you thought you knew about it, and you find the problem a lot quicker. So at one part we go home, I come back the next day, and then that's when I catch it and figure out what I did wrong. But I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's the bonus unit. Basically, when we hit the stand-up target at the top, which just happens to be that one, it wouldn't step up. Okay, so this is the coil. It looked fine with the wrapper on it, but once I started taking it apart, it's burnt to a crisp. So, yeah. So I put another one on. I just happen to have some spare ones off of Bally's. You see the paper is a slightly different color, but that's going to do good for us. So I'll bet that's why it wouldn't step up, and that could have been why our fuse was blowing too. That thing, the wire wasn't connected once I took the wrapper off, but everything looks all charred too. So I don't know, but I think that's going to get us. So I'm going to lay it back down and we'll test that. But then we still have to figure out this advanced 4 thing in the middle. From looking at the schematics, every time you hit that rollover button, it gives you, I guess it's 40 points, but here, I'll show you. These are the schematics. When you hit the rollover button, which is the one in the middle, it turns on the rollover button relay, which, when the rollover button relay is pushed in, one of the switches on it, you score 10 points through it every time this switch on the score motor connects. So I think that's just continuously running, so we'll see that here in a minute. Whenever you hit that, whenever that rollover button relay comes in, it sends power to the score motor, so that's why the score motor is turning over and over and over again. So it should it holds itself in through a switch on itself through the score motor. So this switch may be screwed up. But anyway, we're going to try it again. I want to do one thing at a time. So I want to see if that bonus step-up thing is working now, and if that may fix the other problem or something too. But let me lay it back down now that I've got that coil swapped and show you that. Basically, on the schematics, that was the bonus unit step-up solenoid. So whenever you hit the top target, it connects power to the 501 advance relay. And then the 501 advance relay, if a switch on it connects, it makes the bonus unit step-up solenoid work. So hopefully that part's fixed. So let me lay it back down and we'll try that and then see what the advance 4 thing does. Okay, since I had it turned off, now when we turn it back on, it has reset everything. So let's try that again. Something's buzzing. Let me see what that is. I don't like the sound of that. So our problem is when you turn it on and when you start a game, when the game starts, this bonus unit step-up solenoid locks on. So that was probably all of our original problems there. That's probably why it was blowing the fuse. That's probably why it was none of the bonus stuff was working. So we need to figure out why that's happening. So the bonus unit step-up solenoid connects. So on the schematics, if you're not familiar with them, basically this is the ground. And yes, they really are this long on this era of machine. They're 4 or 5 feet long, I guess. So that's the ground. Okay. So then this line is the 50 volts that go to the solenoids. Okay. And then basically this line here is connected through the reset relay, blah 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 blah. But anyway, it's so easy to get lost on this one. The bonus unit step-up solenoid. So it's usually getting 50 volts while the game is on, right? But then something connects it to ground. This is the ground. So we need to figure out what is connecting that. So what normally makes it do it? Well, the out-hole relay can do it. So this is a score motor switch here. It's not normally connected. So it means as the score motor turns, eventually this connection will connect, and they usually do that to pulse something, right? So both of these switches would have to be screwed up for that to always have power. Shouldn't be like that. Or it could get power through the 501 advance relay. Okay, well it's doing it as soon as the game starts, so that switch would have to be stuck when it's normally open. And then this switch on the score motor would have to be stuck, but it's normally open. So it would need 2 switches to be messed up there. Or it gets power through the wheel unit disc, which is the big round thing in the middle. Right? So if it was on step 3 and 4, 6, or 8 and 9, it would be connected over to here. But the only way that would get power is if this switch and this switch is closed. Why would it do that? That doesn't seem right. And if it was on 9, for it to get power down to here, or a ground down to here, this switch and this switch would have to be messed up. None of that makes any sense. So it doesn't make any sense why, how power, how the signal, I don't know. It's the ground, so I don't like calling it power, but I guess it works that way on AC. But how we are connecting here to here doesn't make any sense because it goes through 2 switches no matter which way you go. So to help track it down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up the playfield. I'm going to turn on the game, and that's going to pull in, and I'm going to see what other relay pulls in, because maybe that'll give us a hint. So like if the out-hole relay pulls in, or the 501 advance relay pulls in, or the wheel score value relay pulls in, That'll help us narrow it down. So I'll try that. The whole thing is you don't want to leave it like that too long because it'll burn the coil up, which it already did once. All right, so I can't film all of this while I'm doing it because I have to turn the machine off real quick and stuff, but I can tell you what just happened and then we can look whenever I find something. But so with the playfield up, turned it on, started the game, and the thing did not lock in. So I'm thinking that it has something to do with where the wheel in the middle is. You know, maybe it's pointing at number 2 right now or something. So it did not lock on. So then to test, I hit the top target that advances the bonus, right? When I hit that, this coil locked on and nothing happened. So it just sat like that, which is exactly what it did earlier whenever we were messing with it before I found the coil. So we need to figure that out first. So how does it hold itself in? Okay. So it holds itself in by a switch on itself that is held on through this normally closed, I'm not writing on the paper by the way, through this normally closed switch on the score motor. Okay, but as we were looking at before, when it pulls in, it should connect power to the score motor and make the score motor run, but it didn't. So that's the problem. Okay, so when that happens, so you get 500 points. So if you go over here to the 100-point relay, here is the switch. So this switch pulls tight, right? And then when the score motor starts turning, a switch on the score motor connects, I would assume 5 times, and then it disconnects, you know, so there's a little bump on the score motor. So as the score motor's turning, that little bump connects this switch, right? And since that switch is connected, it connects power to the 100-point relay 5 times. Bam, 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 right? And then it gets to a point where this one opens, which kills power to the 501 advance relay. Now, the 1 advance means that the bonus unit advances 1. So there's the switch. That also closes when the 501 advance relay pulls in. And then remember the score motor starts turning, which eventually will make this pop over here, which will connect power to the bonus unit step-up switch, and it will move 1 position. Because this switch must be on one of the cams that only has 1 bump on it. So, what's wrong? Well, whenever I start it, that thing pulls in and just sits there. It should start the score motor turning. So there's a switch on the 501 advance relay that on one side is, let's see if I can figure out any colors. There's a 30 there, and then if we go over here to our key, that means yellow, a yellow wire, and 13.2, which means a red and yellow wire. So I need to find where there's a yellow wire that connects to a red and yellow wire on the 501 advance relay, and that switch isn't connecting very well. Okay, so this is the 501 advance relay, and there's 3 sets of switches up here on the top. You see there's 6 switches, but they're in pairs. So the top one, that one, watch what happens when I pull in the relay. See how the smaller switch, smaller blade moves a little bit? And then the one below it, see how the smaller blade moves a little bit? Just barely, you can barely tell. But then look at this one. The bottom one there is not moving. So, tighten it up a little bit. And now it's moving. So that should fix our bonus problem. We'll see. Alright, so I've lifted up the playfield. This is the coil that's locking on. It's not locked on right now. I think it's because of the position that that it's in. That's the wheel unit. That would be the that would be the whole reason. Oh man, that's the bonus unit. That's the wheel unit. Oh man. Well, we still had the problem with the bonus. Let's see if that works. But we need to keep our eye on that to make sure it doesn't lock on. So whenever I hit the bonus, we want the bonus unit to step up. Okay. So this is the one that earlier, whenever I hit it, the relay down there would just lock on. All right. So you saw that. So the bonus unit stepped up one position. Okay. We'll do it again. And you can hear in the back, I don't have the chimes plugged in, but you can hear in the back it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the back box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So our little switch that wasn't working is now working. That's the wheel unit. That's the relay, that the solenoid that was locked on. So we got to look at the schematics for that. What makes that one lock on? Okay, I'm going to leave that mess of all of that where I was trying to figure that out at the beginning of this video, because I just want you guys to see that when you work on these, sometimes it doesn't come to you immediately, and people like me are not geniuses where we know the answer to everything. We screw things up. Like I was just looking at the wrong freaking coil the whole time. So, you know. Now remember when the ball... the bonus unit step up one, whenever we were looking at that, I was saying it doesn't make any sense because two switches would have to be stuck for it to lock on, right? Well, it didn't make any sense because that wasn't the one that was locking on. The one that was locking on is the wheel unit step up solenoid, which is simply turned on by either the 10-point relay or the spinner score change relay through the spinner relay, right? So, it's probably something was locking the 10-point relay on, which was locking the wheel unit on. Okay, so we're going to go hit some 10 points and see if it makes the wheel unit lock on. All right, folks, we've got that. So now I'm going to hit this button, which was the one in the middle that says Advance 4, I believe. Yeah, it says 4 Advance. That's the rollover button. And we're going to see if that advances the wheel 4. So I guess it advances at 4. And we'll see if that causes the problem or if it's the 10-point relay like we were just saying. So let's see what this button does. If that does lock off, move 4 spots, I guess. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so that seems to be working fine now too, but we still have the thing where it's locking on sometimes. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to score 10 points, which I haven't done yet. What is our score at? Yeah, I'm at 2,200 points because everything we've been scoring is on the 100-point relay. So I'm going to score something on the 10-point relay and we'll see if that locks it on. I would imagine this switch will do it. Huh, that's fine. Well, you saw it a few minutes ago, though. Whenever we turned it on, it would lock on. Why would that be? Now it's not. And all we fixed was the one switch on the 501 advance relay. I wonder if I had an issue with the spinner or something. No, it looks fine. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to keep our eye on it, but you can't fix what ain't broke, people. Okay, so we're going to lay the playfield back down and see what else we can find that is not working properly. Okay. I don't even know how this works. I don't know how you score this stuff. How do you score these points? Scores wheel value, it says there. 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 So apparently So the way you score it all is if I hit this button, it'll score it. Advances bonus 500 points. Okay, so we'll mess with that. But let's see. Advances bonus, we're at 5,000. It did. Our switch up here should be 10 points. Okay, then it rolled from 8 to 9. This one should be 10 points. It is. I guess this is 10 points, probably over and over again. That seemed pretty good. The wheel was advancing, but at some point, it's somewhere now where the light's not lit up. Maybe it's this light. So it looks like every time you hit 10 points, that advances. Yeah. So the double bonus light is out. I'll write that down. Okay. Pop bumper. $10 points. Other pop bumper. 10 points. Other pop bumper. All right. Let's try this spinner. Pretty cool. All right. Advanced bonus. Advanced bonus. Okay. 10 points. Yep. Doesn't have one there. Okay. All targets down. Score special when lit. Okay, where I can't. It's not lit. 4740. So you get 500 points, and it advanced the bonus one. Okay, so it was 7240 or something. I missed all that. It gave me a bunch of points, but it was because it reset it. So let's keep watching that. So our bonus is up to 10, 3, 13,000. Everything seems cool, you know. This is a little confusing because it looks like the arrow is saying that that is this, but it's not. The only way to score it is to land in the saucers or to hit these. So we're going to do that. We're going to see if we can score all of everything on the wheel and see if they're all working. 3 bonus advance, so should go to 6,000. We did not. We only went 2,000. Let's try it again. And that time we didn't go any. So we're at 24,280, 27,280, 30,280. 3 bonus advance. Okay, so that's not working right. Let me write that down before I forget about it. Okay, so I wrote it down. So we want to advance that and then check the next step. Okay, so that gets us to 5,000, and then we can score it by hitting this. So we're 30,290, 35,290. Okay, so that works good. So we'll advance it again. We should get double bonus. Okay, so the only way I can try that is if I collect the bonus. This might be a little shaky, people. So 15,000, we should get 30,000 points. I'm not so sure about that. So we should get to 65.3. Yeah, that's all screwed up. Oh, you know what though? I did it wrong. I had to hit that to score the wheel value. So we got to try it again. So let's get up to double bonus again, okay? And let's build up our bonus. So we're on 6,000. So if I scored a wheel value, I score double the bonus. Is that right? Or is it? It's just going to light double bonus, I'll bet. So we're on 6,000. Yeah, so we got our... okay, yeah, it just lit the double bonus. Okay, that makes much more sense. All right, I was about to say, because if you could score double the bonus whenever that's lit during the ball, the score would get crazy. Okay, we're on to the next 5,000. Perfect. Okay, the 3 bonus advance, there's no way that's going to work, I don't think. But you know what, though? Well, let's see. 3 bonus advance. Got the 9. We got the 12. We got the 15. And it won't go any higher because you can't really go higher than 15. Some of these bonus units max out at that. So it's that 3 bonus advance doesn't work right. But, I mean, works right. But that one may not. That would be strange. Okay. Advance bonus 500. I can't do. We got to collect our bonus. Ha. That was the over the top buzzer. Why did it give it to me at 99,000? Look, or it gave it to us earlier than that, but we're only at 99,000. That should only go when it's at 100,000. And so it did it at like 85K or something. Maybe it did it when you get a replay. Instead of a knocker, it's doing the buzzer. I don't know. Oh, boy. Okay, so we're going to go back down to this one. Look, I don't want to hear any crap about I don't film enough stuff, people. This is why I don't film everything, because it's boring sometimes. Okay, so scores the wheel value. It should advance the bonus and give us 500 points. Okay, that was the over-the-top buzzer. See the 100,000 that's on? What in the hell was the other one? What was that? I mean, it was the sound. It had to be the buzzer, right? Whatever. We'll keep messing with it. Okay, so that's working. Lights spinners. And it did. Okay, so let's try and see if the spinners now work for 100 instead of 10. Yes. Okay, that's 1. That's 2. All right, so that one works. Advance bonus and 500 points. That's all cool. Double bonus isn't lit, but I'll bet it works. So scores wheel value. It did it, okay. 500 in advance bonus. It did it. Okay, and then the 3 bonus advance that it didn't seem to work before, so let's try it again. Eight, 9, 10. 13, and it's going to go to 15 and stop. That seems to be working fine now. I don't know. What was the problem, folks? I guess we just hadn't put it through its paces yet. All right, so I'm marking that one out. That's working fine, people. All right, so let's see if we can light the spinners for 1,000. Maybe that's just the knocker that does that. So the spinners are already lit. So I don't know how to get them to light for 1,000. All right. Well, I guess we can try our double bonus at the end of the ball. So we got 15,000. We should get 30,000. So we should end up with... Good Lord, the focus. Work with me now. Come on. Should end up with 46,000. perfect. Why did I get 50 points, though, when it started? Why am I getting 50 points when the ball starts? Okay, what else can I test? I don't know how to get the 1000 when lit on the spinners. And I didn't test the special yet, but that's about it so far. So here's an interesting one. So the way that you light up the 100 or the 1000 on the spinner is dependent upon whether you have it set on 3 or 5 balls. So the 1000 point light on the spinner can never come on unless you're set on 3 ball. So if you're playing a 5 ball game, that light will never ever come on. And if you're playing a 3 ball game, the 100 point light will never come on. Okay. Well, I guess that's cool then. All right, so let's look at our list and then let's play a game and see if it's all right. Okay, so our double bonus light was out. It was just loose in the socket. So I twisted the light and it fixed that. The 50 points at the start of ball 4, you know, we're going to have to play it and just watch that and see if we can figure out a little more about why it's doing that, or maybe I was supposed to score that or something. The over-the-top buzzer at 85,000. So what happened there was, it wasn't the over-the-top buzzer. So the reason there is a over-the-top buzzer, which you heard when it went to 100,000, it's that thing right there. I can actually make it do it for you if you're ready for it, okay? So watch your ears. That buzzer, I'm going to hit the over-the-top relay. Now what the over-the-top relay is it turns on where you made 100,000 points. So once you get past 100,000, it has to put that light on, right? So when you do that, it celebrates it by making that buzzer. I did it in an earlier video. We're going to do it again. And so it's going to be loud. So it did that when we did over 100,000. The noise that we heard that I thought was that buzzer is this noise. Now this is going to be loud too, so watch your ears. Okay, what that is the knocker locking on. So the knocker is this part up here, and so you're hearing a crack, and then it's holding on and going. So the reason it's doing that is because it's adding a credit, and when it hits this switch over here, you can't see it, but that switch is what makes it come on. So basically this coil back here was just a little sticky. So when I messed with it a little bit, it fell off to where it no longer does that. So now it doesn't do the buzzing. So I'm going to hit it again. It's going to be really loud. So that's what it's supposed to do, but this is what it was doing. Now this is going to be really loud. So I was holding it up when it did that. So the thing was just sticking a little bit. Okay, so in other words, I think we're good, but we need to play it a little bit and see. So we need to mess with the flippers and all that. But before we do any of that, we need to put the chimes back in it. So let's go mess with those. Here is the chimes unit out of it, and like most of the stuff in the game, it's in pretty good shape. This coil is a little heated up, but I'm going to guess, I wonder if that's the 10-point one. Because, you know, we had the problem where the one, the wheel unit step-up coil burnt up, and we think it may have been caused by the 10-point relay, which would also make the 10-point chime come on. So maybe. So we got to watch that. But the thing, it's filthy, obviously, but all of the rubber is still intact, and actually, you know, is still isolating the bars. So there's really, it probably works just fine. So I might have to clean it a little bit. We'll definitely clean it a little bit, but let's see how it sounds before we clean it. So it hits it right here. nice resonance. All right, so I'm going to try to clean all this dirt off of it, clean it up a little bit, and then let's see if it sounds any better. Well, it looks a lot cleaner, but it don't really sound any different. I think we're where we were. But everything looks cool. So I'm going to put it back in the machine and let's play it a little bit and see if anything acts up. Okay, folks, we're going to play it a little bit. We're looking to see if the bonus sounds like it, or the wheel unit sounds like it sticks on. The 50 points at the start of the ball and all that stuff that it was doing, or it wasn't 50, I guess it was 40. And sometimes when it would start, you'd get 10 points and all that. It was this button. I had it adjusted so tight that basically any kind of shaking of the playfield at all would make that trigger. And so just the ball kicking out of the out hole would shake the playfield slightly and make that trigger. So I adjusted it a little farther apart. So let's see what we got. All right, it reset back to 0. It says ball and play number 1, and the 1-up lights are on. Okay, I've had people say on previous videos, take the glass off the playfield when you film it. You hear how loud it is, right? It gets very loud when you do that. And it's not just that the chimes and stuff are louder, it's that like everything's louder. It's clacks and clanks, and you hear stuff slap things and stuff, and they do not sound good with the glass off. And then I've had people complain that the bells don't sound good or the chimes don't sound good. People, the glass is off. It's not this loud when you're playing it with the glass on and the back door on. And I've had people complain that they can see why it's unplugged in people's houses. Well, you know, it was designed for an arcade with about 20 other ones going on at the same time, so they're supposed to be a little loud. It's not a bad design or anything. Bally kind of knew how to make a decent sounding chime by this point. All right, let's see. I'm just trying to see if anything seems weird. That was interesting. So when you score wheel value, when it's done, it kicks both of the saucers, because they also score the wheel value. Watch. Pretty cool. Ball and play 4. It seems like everything's pretty smooth. It slid it right past me. Ball and play 5. Well, those pops are something else, aren't they? Or thumper bumpers, as Bally called it. Give me them points. Give me them points. All right, folks, I think that's pretty good. And I think we've about got all the kinks worked out. So things we found. This button was a little too touchy. Fix that. Okay. The wheel unit coil had burnt up. We're not sure why. Did we ever figure that out? I don't think we ever figured that out. For whatever reason, it was sticking on from time to time. We think it may have been the 10-point relay. It's not doing it now, though. We had a loose light bulb. Minor stuff. The knocker was making a whole bunch of buzzing and stuff, but it was on the credit unit, and it looked like it just needed to be ran through a couple cycles, and now it doesn't do it. The 501 and Advance 1 relay was locking on, which made all of the bonus not work, because as soon as you tried to score a bonus, that would just stick on. So, but we figured out that was a switch. And then the rest of it was just minor stuff, like oiling the shooter rod. This little gate was sticking open, so I put a little oil on it. And then just your typical cleaning and replacing all the light bulbs and blah, 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 blah. So I think we're getting there. We need to play it a little bit just to make sure everything's cool, but it seems pretty good. That's another thing with an electromechanical game. The more you play it, the better it plays, because the switches, you saw how we were adjusting it so that the switches move slightly. When it does that, it rubs the two contacts together and they actually clean themselves. So the more you play it, you're basically rubbing every switch in the game against itself. Right? And all of that dust from all of those years just miraculously fades away, and pretty soon the thing is running like a sewing machine. So I think that's where this one's getting to. So I think we'll stop there. Now I need to do a whole other video on trying to fix the back glass. That poor back glass. It looks pretty good, but pretty good ain't good enough. We got to try to get it where it's not going to keep flaking away, and then we'll try to touch up some of the paint too, which is a shame because it's a cool back glass, and everything else on the machine's in pretty good shape. So make sure to check that out. We'll be doing that next time. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave your comments down below. Sorry it was so scatterbrained this time, but basically, at the beginning of it, I couldn't tell why that coil was locked on, and it's frustrating. But we figured it out. I was looking at the wrong coil. It was the wheel unit coil, not the bonus unit coil. So leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. Make sure to give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film it for you. And we'd like to thank everybody that's been using our Amazon links. If you don't know about that, down below our videos, there is a link to Amazon. If you're going to buy anything on Amazon, if you click our link first, it gives us a little tip. A bunch of people have been doing that lately. We appreciate it. We also have a parts page on our website. If you don't know, go to lionsarcade.com. That's our website. It's got all of our arcade games for sale, pinball machines for sale, jukeboxes for sale. Now, that's another thing, folks. A lot of times, the reason there's not a ton of stuff on there, I think there's a couple dozen games on there right now, but the reason there's not a ton of stuff on there is because when we get stuff fixed, it sells pretty quick. You know, it takes us a little while to fix it, and then we get it fixed and it's gone. Because our prices are fairly fair, in my opinion. And yes, fairly fair is the only way to say it. You can't just say fair, you have to say fairly fair. Our prices are fair, and so the stuff just rolls out if it's a really cool game. So you got to keep your eye on it. There's also a page on there that tells you what's coming up, so you can keep track of that if you want. But we have a new parts page at the top. So if you click on parts, I've made a list and a page with kind of like all of our stuff that we use on our machines as we go through them. Like I've got like a link to like a little multimeter on there. You know, we use stuff like that. I got a link to the wax that we use and all that stuff. And it's also got like our T-shirts and mugs and hats, or not hats. We don't have a hat yet. T-shirts, and mugs, and hoodies, and art, and all that stuff on there if you're interested in buying any of that stuff. So. Check that out, and last but not least, make sure to check out my brother Donnie, who is literally my brother Donnie. So my brother and I have bought this old building in downtown Jefferson, South Carolina that we're fixing up. And it used to be the old grocery store and the old flower shop. What would they call it, a flower shop? I guess that'd be it, right? Flower shop. And so we bought that building, and we're fixing it up so that we can rent it out. And we're right in the middle of all that, so check out those videos on his channel if you'd like. That's my brother Donnie. You'll like him. He's crazier than I am. So I hope you enjoyed the video. We will see you on the next one where we will work on that back glass.